There's always a karmic purpose, a big agenda that the siblings have when they come in together. Sometimes it is for the parents, to fulfill something for the parents. All right?
Yes.
Questions?
Peace, this is Marty.
Marty, yes.
How you doing today? I wanted to ask you, I believe you guys brought up the other night about possibly ETs coming to our planet.
Yes.
I believe Barbara was talking about it a little earlier, how they're priming us for it.
Yes.
What would the intentions be of other beings coming here?
Well, first of all, Marty, other beings have been here always on and off for a long time. Some have been in pure observation mode. And, you know, someone recently told us, one of our regular students, Roger, he said that someone developed some sort of viewing mechanism. And that and they were starting to look up into the night sky, and they were seeing that the skies were full around Earth of all kinds of activities and ships and things. So they're here. How do we open all of our sessions? We are here. Mm-hmm. Greetings, we are here. So it's a matter not of coming to Earth, but making themselves known. Now, some ETs come purely for experimentation, observation, some come as point beings for others to report back to the headquarters in the cosmos. Some come to steal resources, water, gold, other things. Some come, as we do, to help stabilize you. Many people have noticed over time that there seems to be an unusual sort of correlation between ships, these flying objects, military bases, nuclear sites, and power places, and places where the grid lines meet, where the ley lines meet. Obviously, these creatures, call them creatures, we call ourselves creatures as well, are able to utilize some of your resources as energy for themselves. Some of them are not stealing. They are simply using what you don't know how to use. You may go to a sacred site and say, wow, yeah, I feel the energy here. But you cannot build an automobile, for example, that you can park at a sacred site and say, well, you know, we're going to spend a few hours here at the sacred site, and by the time we leave, my car will be tuned up and it will be refueled. You do not have that kind of technology. Yet others do. You also have to consider that many of these beings come with a great interest in making certain that you don't destroy Earth. Not you per se, but crazy people. And so there have been many, many interventions ever since you blew open the space-time continuum when you started fooling around with atomic energy. Once you split that atom and started letting things off here, there, everywhere, then you opened things up and everything came in. All hell broke loose, so to speak. It's not that visitors were not here before. They were. They always have been. They have a history. It's been hidden, but it's there. It's that once you started with the nuclear, it means that you reclaimed the timeline that was activated through many times on Earth. We said to you, there has been great nuclear wars on the planet and great nuclear destruction. Your scientifics have discovered highly radiated areas in Europe, in the Middle East, in India, in Russia, in Africa, as parts of the southwest of the United States. The radiation cannot be, there's no reason for it, except for some big, big thing happened. We and many others are here to make certain that the integrity of Earth is not destroyed. Our investment is in the living library. not just your reproduction processes, to keep the library going because there's beautiful sunsets and daisies and peonies and children are lovely and all this. The bodies that you occupy, the body that the insect occupies, the ant, the night crawler, the butterfly, everything that is a biological form has been designed. Nothing has evolved, as Mr. Darwin said, that life just sprang up from nothing. It is not random. It has all been built and seeded. Many of the E.T. stories of the planet history, Marty, speak of the E.T.s introducing the rudiments of agriculture, of animal husbandry, of teaching you about astronomy, astrology, and metallurgy. These are all the rudiments of developing a civilization on a world such as yours. And so there are probabilities that have arisen where over the last 30 years, 50 years, people would have blown Earth up again and again and again and created great, great devastation. And beings who do not want to interfere in your development will come in to make certain that you are not destroyed. They may not save you from your debt or your flat tires or some of the other foolish decisions that you make. But there has been an agreed upon moratorium on the highest levels to make certain that the atomic energy is contained. Now, what's very interesting is that recently, about 6 weeks ago, two months ago, what is this, early June, so let's talk about early April. Mr. Obama says, we are going to do offshore drilling. They will approve offshore drilling, yes? Mm-hmm. Then what happened? The oil spill, yes. And Mr. Obama also right around the same time met with the Russians, and they agreed on another level of nuclear non-proliferation.
Right.
Remember?
Yes.
Now, that was an ET agenda. There are some ETs who have said, if you want assistance, you must disarm yourself. Mr. Obama, in some ways, is preparing the world for ET agenda. And when he said, yes, you can drill, there's lots of stories around and lots of agendas engaged in this so-called spill. There was lots of argument, lots of problems. Another thing to consider is that the Gulf of Mexico has long housed underground ET bases.
Which place?
The Gulf of Mexico has long been known as a home for underground in the water ET bases. Now, whenever you hear global leaders talk about atomic energy, nuclear, this has long been used as a code or a cover for the ET issue. And look at the faces of the world leaders in the last few weeks, even before the oil spill. They're not happy with each other. There's not too much buddying up. There's tremendous tension behind the scenes about the ET issue. And recently we had some people bring up in discussion that was the oil spill multi-agendaed? In other words, will it fulfill prophecies? Will it destroy underground ET bases in the Gulf? You have certainly gone to extremes in some areas to destroy ET bases on the planet. Again, because you have some ETs that are here that are stealing humans. Abduction, you call it, yes? Abduction. They steal from the cows, they outright take the cows and they slice them open and whatever. And sometimes it is not just ETs taking the cattle.